such a tough spot. Oh, the officials are all over that
Clearly a foul. I mean, didn't give him any choice but to blow the whistle. I mean, you got to play without fouling.
Chicago making some changes. Joakim Noah's checked in for Gasol. Doug McDermott comes in for Tony Snell. And Moore subbed in for Derrick Rose. Sacramento also making some changes. Caspi, he's checked in for Gay. Bellinelli comes in for McLemore. And it's Collison in for Rajon Rondo.
one. You know, he's got a lot of length, and right there, he needed every inch of it.
That's true, GA. You're right. You know, we really don't know that much about him in that department, but my goodness, when he gets up, he can go.
Yeah, he can still punch it when he wants to, though. We saw that, didn't we, fellas?
And for the Bulls and injuries, a lot of teams plan for these type of things. There's only so much Clark can do to mitigate losing your starting backcourt.
But I tell you, great respect and admiration for the Bulls for how they fought through the difficulty. I mean, their front court did what they could. The injuries, once again, I thought turned the Bulls from championship contenders to just a playoff team.
Chicago making some changes. Pau Gasol is checked in for Gibson. Heinrich comes in for McDermott. And Derrick Rose is subbed in for E'Twaun Moore.
Kings foul.
And a chance now to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for Sacramento.
And guys, something every team strives for is getting points off of turnovers, and they've done that here in both halves.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
Bulls made the postseason for the 10th time in their last 11 seasons. Last year, they have become a fixture, Greg, in the playoffs in the East.
And how about last season, Kevin, had that interdivision matchup in their first round against the up-and-coming Bucks. Some hiccups for them in that series, but they were able to prevail.
Bellinelli with the three.
No other way to put it, just a poor shooting performance for him, but luckily his teammates have picked up the slack. Yeah, nice, strong finish there, nearly a three-point opportunity.
Full throttle, pedal to the metal, attacking basketball. I like that. Boy, in that playoff series against the Bucks, the Bulls looked like they were primed for an upset as they started slowly, eventually pulled it together, and came in as the underdogs against the Cavs.
And Cousins throws it down.
I tell you what, he can do a lot more damage to that rim than that when he wants to.
And you know, Clark, with the lead they're enjoying, I'm surprised he didn't put a little something extra on that one.
Me too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm glad he didn't, because otherwise we'd probably have a 45-minute delay here if he shattered the backboard.
Gasol kicks to Rose, but they'll get another chance. The second chance effort, no good from Gasol. With one on the clock, it's off. Well, through 3/4 of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. The Kings on top, up by 15. And we're coming back in just a moment. Get ready for the fourth quarter of action when we return. And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. And a look at the five for the Kings to start the fourth. Rajon Rondo is up there with Bellinelli. Then there's Caspi. Then there's Rudy Gay. And it's Cauley Stein in at the center position. Some changes for Chicago. Gibson comes in for Joakim Noah. And it's E'Twaun Moore checking in for Kirk Heinrich.
You look at the turnover situation, guys, and it's not been that bad. Just a handful, and when you take care of the ball like that, that can help you build a lead.
McDermott can't get it to go. Sacramento leading by 15. Here's Bellinelli, and he throws it down hard with one hand.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
And it's E'Twaun Moore with the foul. That is his first foul of the game.
In for the Kings.
Ben McLemore, he's checked in for the Kings. Poked away. Back to Gay. Here's Cauley Stein. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty.
Wow, check out that assist. That's a pair of teammates that are clearly on the same page.
I like his tenacity getting to the basket there, even though the dunk rattled out. 99 times out of 100, you'll get the dunk or the foul.
We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. And again, Chicago, no good. Here's Gay, and a strong finish with two hands.
And they seem to have gotten something out of almost every possession. Their defense has been just as good, just a tremendous performance all the way around.
Yeah, and they're doing it in hostile territory, too. I mean, don't forget about that part of it, which makes it even more impressive.
Chicago calls timeout.
Well, we all know that #1 overall picks are incredibly valuable. I mean, they can change the course and face of an entire franchise. Last season, the playoffs were full of teams that featured #1 overall picks.
So Chicago ends up going with the new group. Butler from outside. And it's Sacramento with...
Another one. DJ Khaled.
Hey guys, on today's episode of NBA 2K TV, we show you some
It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to the NBA on 2K Sports. Excited, thrilled to be here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm so lucky. Tonight, it'll be the Golden State Warriors going up against the Magic in Orlando. The Magic come into this one following a loss to the Cavaliers at Quicken Loans Arena. They suffered a blowout loss, trying to leave that one in the rear view and focus on the game at hand. And as we come up to the midway point of the season, Kenny, we're seeing some of the veterans who started slower now picking up the pace.
Well, I think early on, a lot of times, if you've been in the playoff for some veterans, the early going in the season is a little mundane. But then
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for this NBA presentation. Along with Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and our sideline reporter Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Last game for the Warriors, they pick up the... And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, here's Freak, right now averaging about 5 points a game. Great D that time from Payton. And the shot is good. And here's Freak. 1:52 left to play here in the first. That's a miss, his second after 2 shots.
And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be, he's not making that one.
Warriors leading by 4. Now let's send it down to Doris Burke, who was able to talk with Byron Scott.
He told me he's a fan of Andre Iguodala, especially the way he's developed his outside shot. He said that was one weakness. He could do everything else, pass, handle, and finish. And boy, what a defender. But now that he's developed that jump shot, there are really no weaknesses in his game. Guys, that makes it awfully tough to deal with a guy who can impact the game in that many ways. Back to you.
All right, Doris, thanks. Here's Azania, looking for his first basket still in this one. And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim.
And he's made more than his fair share of those today.
Now here's Freak, covered by Payton. Here's Barnes. No good. That's miss number 2. He's 1 for 3. Payton dishes to Lure. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a 3-point play. And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by. So for the Golden State Warriors right now, Freak, he's in at point guard. Green is out there with Johnson. And there's Klay Thompson. And it's Dedmon in at the 5 spot. Here's Harris. The shot misses. And Golden State will go the other way with it. They'll be off to Brooklyn for a meeting with the Nets after this one. And they're in the thick of this long, long road run. That's the 3rd of 7 straight on the road. Barnes is checked in for Golden State. And plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up. The Warriors shooting their first free throws. First trip to the line in this one.
And on the season, you know, they're hitting about 76%, which is a decent rate.
And they've made progress in that department from last season going into this one, guys. I mean, the numbers have improved.
The Magic trail by 3. Payton with the ball, picked up by Thompson. There's a screen. Payton outside. Pass to Billar. He feeds it to Gordon. And the rebound goes to the Warriors. This, of course, their first opportunity to play Orlando this season.
Yeah, and they swept this matchup the 2 times they played last year. They held the advantage on paper and on the court.
Yeah, exactly. An interconference matchup here. Not a lot of familiarity, but I wouldn't say they caught them off guard. There's a reason one team was in the playoffs and the other team was watching.
Warriors leading by 3. Johnson kicks to Freak. Back to Johnson. But Trey score the basket, his 3rd after 5 shots.
They've done a really good job of knocking down their long-distance shots here in the second quarter. And they're shooting just above 40% from downtown. That's outstanding. Boy, that's a surprising miss right there. He usually feasts on those wide-open opportunities.
And that one's good, Barnes.
I like the fact that he led his teammate right to the ideal spot. You don't always throw it to your teammate. You throw it to where he needs to be.
Barnes against Harris. Can they get it? And he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
And really nothing like a good old-fashioned throwdown to get a team going.
And Greg, they do need to get going. They wouldn't mind, shaving a couple more points off that lead right away.
Well, if the defense keeps giving up easy baskets like that, it won't be a lead for long.
And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Warriors.
You've got to like the
Warriors making a change here. And so it's a club.
Well, Nick,